So as some of you may know, I'm starting a brand new e-commerce business from scratch based on a new product that I've invented, which is a new type of pet carrier for cats and small dogs. And I'm documenting every step of the way of starting this new business and posting it all on YouTube for people to follow along. And in today's video, I'm going to run through my financial statements to date. I'm going to talk about why and how I created a new corporation for this business. I'm going to unveil my brand name and my logo is kind of shit right now, so just keep in mind that it's a placeholder until I can find something better. And finally, I'm going to give a quick update on my prototype manufacturing and how that is coming along. So since my last video update, my revenue is still at zero, of course, because I'm still in the prototype manufacturing phase, but I've had two new expenses, and those are incorporating my new company, which so far has cost $513.80. And that is broken up into legal fees, which was about $300. And then there's a fee for filing paperwork to create a new corporation in Canada, which was about $200. And finally, there was a $13.80 name search fee, which is when you want to have a named corporation rather than a numbered corporation, you have to pay to make sure, that your name doesn't conflict with someone else's name that already has a corporation under that same name. So that's that. And my only other expense is this logo design. I put logo design 1 because I'm not happy with the way that it turned out, but it cost me $9.56 and I purchased that from the website Fiverr, and I'm going to show you what that ended up looking like in a few minutes. So scrolling down here, you'll see that my total expenses now total $12,696.11, making my net income exactly that much in the negative. So let's talk about this corporation now. Why did I choose to incorporate this business rather than run it as a sole proprietorship or as a partnership? Well, first of all, I'm the only one currently involved in the project, so partnership is out of the question. And then I was left to choose between sole proprietorship and corporation. And I chose corporation for a number of reasons. Number one is the limited liability consideration. And through my research, I found out that running a business through a corporation limits the personal exposure, risk, and liability of the business owners. So that means that my own personal assets wouldn't necessarily be at risk, and it protects me from personal liability resulting from the activities of the business. So if someone wants to collect debts or sue the company, then they can only go after the company itself. Number two is that I've created more options for paying myself if the corporation ever actually turns a profit. And I can do that by paying myself in dividends through the shares of the corporation or by paying myself a salary. And the third main reason why I created a corporation for this company is that it gives me more freedom and flexibility for the future. So let's say at some point down the road, I want to take on a partner. That's much easier to do within the confines of a corporation because I can either issue new shares or sell some of my shares to that person. And the same thing applies if I want to sell the company altogether. It's just much easier to do within a corporation rather than a sole proprietorship. Within Canada, if you want to incorporate a new business, there's two options for doing that. You can either incorporate provincially or you can incorporate federally. And I chose to create a federal corporation for a couple of reasons. And the main one is, first and foremost, that I plan on doing some business internationally, within North America at least. I'm going to use the US as one of my main target markets. So in my research, I discovered that if you're doing business internationally, it's probably better to go with a federal incorporation just because then you can represent yourself as a corporation of Canada as opposed to a corporation of a specific province, which may not have the same level of name recognition elsewhere. The second reason why I chose to incorporate federally is that it has better name protection across the whole country. If I chose to, say, incorporate within the province of Ontario, which is where I live, then I would only be protected in this province. But by choosing a federal incorporation, I can now protect my business name or my corporation name across the entire country in every single province and territory. Third, I still actually got a provincial registration and a provincial business number because that's where my business is headquartered. So really, there's not that many benefits, in my opinion, to incorporating provincially. And the fourth and final reason why I chose to incorporate federally is that it's actually cheaper. It's only about $200 to file the paperwork, plus whatever legal fees that there might be if you hire someone else to do it for you. If you incorporate provincially, at least within the province of Ontario, it's $350 for the same paperwork. And on that last point, it's actually quite possible to file your own paperwork. I've done that for another business that I incorporated, but in this instance, since it's a little bit more complicated and a little bit more serious, I decided to hire one of my friends who's actually a lawyer at a very discounted rate. So I got a really good deal on the legal fees for the incorporation, and I got to have, the peace of mind knowing that it was going to be done by a professional, so nothing would get mixed up. So all of this now is culminating in the reveal of my new brand name for this new company, this new business, this new product line, and that is Catchy Pets Incorporated. Catchy Pets Incorporated. Let me know what you think. I thought it was kind of a catchy name. I actually didn't come up with it. My fiance did. And it references cat, it references catch, i.e. we're gonna put the cat in the pet carrier. And it seems just kind of cute overall. It's got like, you know, a nice sound to it. So I thought it would be a good business name and a good brand name for this company. And before I show you the logo, the logo that I'm gonna change, one thing actually that I wanted to mention is that in my research, I discovered that when you register a company or a corporation, there are people or trolls or algorithms that are trawling the internet, looking for business registrations, and then snapping up the corresponding domain names before people can do it, so that they can then sell those domain names back to the new business owners at a really inflated price. And so something that I did was I registered my domain names for this business well before I actually filed the incorporation paperwork. And I think that's probably the best practice. So if anyone watching this is considering creating a new corporation, make sure that you reserve those domain names before you file the paperwork. Otherwise, you might find yourself in a situation where you can't get your website domain name that you want without paying a huge premium. Okay, so for the logo, I just went on Fiverr.com and found some random person that was doing logo designs for like $6 plus tax. And I figured, why not? We'll give it a shot. And so this right here was my first result for the Catchy Pets logo. I didn't love it. I asked for a couple of changes. Like the dog was too big. This pet carrier isn't going to be for dogs of that size, so I didn't want it to be kind of misrepresenting the brand. So then the guy came back with this, which I thought was all right, but a little bit awkward because it looks like the dog and the cat are kissing. So I wasn't sure. I asked for a couple more changes after that as well. And I was given this, which I feel like actually is the worst out of the three because, you know, the animals are not even properly framed and it just looks kind of weird. So overall, I'm not thrilled with the results of my Fiverr logo design, and I'm not going to keep any of these long term, but I'll just use one of these as a placeholder until I can find something better. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is just a quick update on the prototype. So it's actually been completed and I've seen videos of it. It looks great. It's very faithful to what the final product is going to be, and it's currently being shipped to me. So I'm really optimistic that in the next couple of weeks, maybe month or so, I'll actually be able to reveal that and then launch the next stage of this project, which is going to be the Kickstarter campaign, followed by launching the actual website and then turning this into finally a real business and getting some real revenue so that my thumbnails for this video series don't always show a huge loss on my balance sheet or on my financial statements. Anyways, that's where things stand right now today. There's been quite a significant amount of progress, and I'm really looking forward to the next couple weeks and months because I think that things are gonna really pick up speed from here. So with that said, have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.